probably come as no surprise I'm a bit of a fan of Lean Agile Procurement. Why? Well, it's honest, it's transparent, it's open, it's positive, and it's clear. But how will this help us get into a place where we have a more open, less corruptible behavior? And I think it was Nietzsche who said, if we stare into the abyss for too long, be wary because it will overcome you. I think, how many times have you seen or heard situations where, oh, you've got to do it that way? Or when you work in country Z, you've got to work that way. Or when you work with company Y, yeah, they expect it. And this is why there's strict reporting rules in many multinationals. So when I was working with an energy company, any gift over £25 had to be logged and recorded in a register because they wanted to make sure that everything was completely ethical and above board. And so it got to the point that, like, if we went out for dinner, because I was traveling a lot working with them because they're a global company, the employee would always pay for dinner, because if I paid for dinner, it probably came to about £26, which is above the threshold. They'd have to report it, things like that. So why would Lean Agile Procurement help? Well, because of the essence of it being open, of it being transparent, of it being clear, and also by having the other partners engaged. So let's dig into this transparency piece. If you have a look at some of the other videos I've done, you are open with the big room planning. You're giving everybody the same heads up. And when it gets to big room planning, everybody's in the room. Now, of course, you can break out the side rooms for detailed discussions on pricing or what have you, but you've got that very fast feedback loop of any changes in conditions so that you know that everybody is receiving the same information. Transparency. Who knew it was a good thing, right? It's like, maybe it'll catch on. The second thing, adaptability. Baked into the whole approach, the whole outlook, is this ability to build flexible contracts. And so because we know we're building flexibility up front, that means our financial terms, our compensation terms will be in there. So we're helping with that. And that adaptability helps keep the transparency high, because we don't need to do any funny accounting. We don't need to acknowledge that the requirements are signed off, but they're not really signed off. It's all above board. It's clear. As soon as you create that gap or that shadow, that's where you open that potential for corruption. So corruption is when you use some token or mechanism to gain an unfair competitive advantage. Now, particularly in some countries, this is more probable because they're not very open. Now, there's a really cool book out there called The Dictator's Handbook. I'd encourage you all to read it if you want to understand how organizations and countries work. And it's all about control of power. I'll leave that one as a little Easter egg and move on. So it's open, right? So we've got transparency, adaptability, and the third thing is humanity. In my experience in travels, and I've been lucky to visit quite a few countries and continents. I've been very, very fortunate with that. Just about every person I've met is really kind and just open and generous, right? Yeah, okay, I've bumped into a couple of clowns and jerks in my time. Yep, that's humanity, right? Just like probabilistic curve, right? You're going to get some amazing people. You're going to get some people that you just don't like. And yeah, there's some rough people everywhere. But when we're in Lean Agile Procurement, we're getting to see our potential partners and our vendors. It's speed dating for companies. So with that transparency, with that adaptability, with that humanity, it's clearer, more open, less chance of corruption. I'm not saying it's never going to happen. It's just going to reduce the probability of it.